Hey, this is WhyBeAre back with Polybridge 2, and today I plan to finish up Pine Mountains. That is, of course, just the plan. If I end up doing a lot of dumb things, that won't actually happen. Now we're going to start with rope support, which you see I've already done. I had a little bit of a recording issue, so we're going to do this one again real quickly. And all I've done so far is just a basic bridge, which doesn't take much time, and it's not very complex at all. So it says, rope and cables are strong and long, but they cannot be compressed. And up top, we got some balloons you can use just like real bridges do. Starting off, just making a very, very simple bridge. This is all I've done off camera. It's just this very simple bridge that takes like no time at all. And we copy it and then paste it and boom, boom. And a couple more times. We got pasted a lot. But eventually it makes a bridge just like that. We throw a couple of ropes down to hold it in place. Not like that. Come on, rope. And then one on this side, and that should be solid. I think that's about what I had before, and it looks strong enough. No problem there. Nice and easy, but boring. Where is the fun at? That's what I want to see. So we're going to just completely remove this bridge. We don't need this bridge at all. And we're going to make something dumb that slants upwards. And once again, for convenience, we're going to be cloning it. And it is a little bit hard, actually, to line this up properly because you want to do one less than the maximum length for it to always be centered. It seems really weird, but if you do max length, it won't connect up right, and it just doesn't work. So go ahead and copy and paste as far as it looks like we'll need to go. Like if we do one more here, that's probably good. I think we could jump off of that and get to the finish line. Actually, let's add one more. I'm looking at it. It's like it's a fire truck. It don't drive that fast. So now we'll rope it up, and we're going to do the rope differently here. We're going to do a rope that connects to multiple spots, all from a central point. Now, I'm doing it like that because I think you can save some money and have a lot more strength if you do it this way. And it looks like this is going to work, although I saw it go up to 96%. It really almost broke. But we made it across and flipped over the truck, but the bridge didn't break. Where is the destruction? We're going to add some, so what we're going to do is we're going to add this, a little breakaway piece at the destination. So now, hopefully, the bridge will collapse when the fire truck hits that little piece that's just hanging on by a thread. Let's see if this works as I expect. Beautiful. That was perfect. So now, on to the next level, which is 1-09, budget cuts. Use less materials to save budget. And for this level, we only have $10,500. That's not a lot of money to work with. If we just make a straight path like that, that's $3,200. That's a third of the budget gone already. Heck, if we were just to make a very basic bridge with nothing fancy at all that I know is nice and strong, I don't even know if we'll have enough money for that. Like, this is as basic as a bridge design gets. And if we were to actually do this, would we have enough money to complete the bridge? No, we don't have enough money for that. That is $1,000 over budget. It might be strong enough to work, but it's no good if you're over budget. Yeah, it is strong enough. So what we need to do is we need to reduce the strength to save money. It didn't seem like any of the percentages got that high, so we're just gonna try to like reduce the overall amount of wood by lowering the central sections that support the bridge. And I'll do the same to the other side if this actually holds up. I just gotta make sure it's still strong enough. Up to 94%, that is not strong enough. So we're gonna raise it up a little bit right where it broke, and we'll see how that works. So it looks pretty solid and excellent. So now we can do the same thing to the other side, and that should be a successful bridge that is actually under budget. And since I forgot to delete the other one, yeah, we got this cool shape to it now. I don't really know what to call it or if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's kind of like a DNA strand bridge, right? But as long as it works, that's all that matters. And hey, it looks like it works to me. All the way across, got the flag. But the bridge didn't break. So to make this bridge fall apart, we only have about $500 to work with. That is not a lot of money. So I'm wondering, can we optimize the bridge even more so we have a little bit more money? Like if we bring these pieces in a little bit more, like so, that gives us just a tiny bit more money to work with, assuming it doesn't cause it to collapse. That's the main concern here. So let's see again, does this work? And we'll go ahead and speed it up because I just want to see, does it break or not? It's good. And now we have almost $1,000 to work with. So that's nice. All right, so I'm probably going to want to put something here that can collapse everything. And I think it'd be easier to build off of it if we have the upper section on that side. So we're gonna cut the whole bridge completely, flip it around, and then put it back down. Now we have an upper section we can work with to make a breakaway piece here. So we'll remove this, and then we're gonna make a road that kind of floats a little bit like so. And I'll make sure it's connected still with wood. And then all of the weight will be on that piece at the edge, which should kind of pull it apart, I'm thinking. Not quite, it was actually too strong. So let's change this up a little bit down below, where I think it'll put more force on that one piece that held everything together. And okay, yeah, that's more force, but that's too much. So maybe it was kind of that bump in the road. We'll make it nice and smooth, just a straight line. And yeah, that worked. And the bridge broke after it completed it. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but I have to click next really fast to go to the next level. Don't ask why. But now we're going on to 1-10, first jump. Sometimes jumping the gap is the best solution. Sometimes, I think you mean all the time. Also, we get springs here, but it doesn't tell you what springs do. That's kind of interesting. You would think, oh yeah, hey, by the way, here's the springs tutorial, but no. I wonder, did I like skip it somehow? I know there are tutorials in the menus. Let me see this real quickly. Nope, there's nothing for springs. Okay, just making sure. First things first, let's go ahead and play around with these springs. We're just gonna build a simple road here and then connect the spring to it. Now, ideally, I would connect it down there, but it won't reach, so I'll just kind of pick a central point between these two and use that to see what it does. So when the car drives across it, basically nothing happens. It's going too fast to really see what I wanted to see. I wanted to see how much does it compress when the car drives on it. So it compresses a little bit, all right. And then also we have a little slider here, so you can put it to 50% stretched, and that, okay, that did the opposite of what I expected. See, I see the words 50% stretch. So I'm just thinking, oh, it's gonna stretch 50%, but no, it's stretched, as in it starts 50% stretched and it's gonna compress. And the terminology is backwards from what I would think would be in the game, so I'm probably gonna put them the wrong way quite a few times until I get it right. So if we want the spring to go this way, we put it to compressed, and there we go. Ooh, ooh, guys, that gives me a really good idea. So it goes all the way that far back. So that means if I wanted to, I could probably, okay, I shouldn't say probably, I might be able to make a ramp that looks like that. That's literally the ramp. It's gonna go straight up into the air. And then we're gonna bring it down using springs. So we'll connect it up like that, and then we gotta make sure we do this the right direction. We want it to pull, so we stretch it, and then it would kind of pull the whole thing down like that. Perfect. Now I just need to attach all these together to make them nice and solid. So make a very simple steel structure here. I'm not gonna do anything really fancy, although it has to be straight, because straight lines are stronger than crooked ones. That's why we use straight lines. There we are. It looks okay. Then we just gotta do all of the connecting bits, and it's better if you do it like that. Then you can do it fast. That looks okay. Let's see what it does. Yes. Yes. Oh, not quite yes. That spring broke. All right, I have an idea. So if that spring isn't enough, we'll add another spring over here, and then it'll be like 2 springs are holding it instead of just 1. That did not work. What I need to do is I need to set this spring to be compressed, and then it'll open and the other one closes, and that did not work. Right. The roads are too weak. That's not good. Oh, hey, when did we get reinforced road? I don't know when that appeared, but hey, that sounds perfect for this. Give me that reinforced road, please. All right, how does that do? Does that make it work? Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Not quite. Close. Very, very close. Okay. We got 2 roads left, actually, so what we can do is we could just go ahead and add like a little landing pad over here. We just go boom, and then does that reach? Not quite. And how much money do we got? We don't really have enough for this. This is not gonna go well. Like, that should be fine, I'm thinking, but we are over budget. So does that work? Not quite. It's coming in really, really steep there. We'd have to make it a little bit taller, but even then, I don't think that's gonna work, is it? Okay, not only does it not work, we're also over budget, so we need to cut some costs. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna change a bunch of these pieces here to wood, the ones that'll reach. I'm thinking that should save us a bit of money. And does it still hold up? Yo! No. Not quite. That piece broke, and it just barely broke. We were like on the very edge of the ramp. So I think just replacing that with metal will be fine. Beautiful. Okay, so we now have money to make ourselves a little landing zone. And we need to make it pretty steep, because you see that car is falling down into here. So I'm going to go as high as we can with that, and I'm going to adjust the steel a little bit. I'm going to make the steel have a more central point so we can get a higher angle on it like so. And that way we don't go over budget. And we are actually close to over budget. We're at 26,000, but it works. Woo! That was a bit of a pain, but it worked. Great. So now we can go on to 1-11, which is stop and go. And it says some checkpoint, stop the car. First things first, let's just make a bridge that goes all the way across, and don't worry about the boat. I just want to make sure it's strong enough for the cars. Since there are 2 cars going at once, we'll start off with a nice, simple support structure here with the steel. Steel is good because steel is strong, but steel is also expensive, so we probably shouldn't always use steel like I'm doing here. And instead, we should also use wood like I'm doing over here. So let's make a simple wood structure on this side and steel on the other side. Don't worry about the details. The important thing is it strong enough? The answer to that question is yes, very easily. The one problem though is, yeah, here comes this idiot. You stupid potato, just smashing straight through my beautiful, beautiful bridge. So let's try to do this kind of an unusual way. We're gonna remove the connection over on the left side, and we're replacing it with a hydraulic and some steel, because I want this thing to be able to lift up a decent height. So we'll go about that high, should be good. And that'll make it basically act like it's on a hinge, as long as I remember to put it in the right mode. As you saw, I almost compressed when I wanted to expand. With that expansion, it goes up a bit, but we're gonna still have a problem with the boat smashing into it. That's perfectly fine. In fact, I would say that is expected. So now what we want to do is we want to add a hydraulic down here, but this one's gonna contract a bit. We'll put about 35, which is a nice and easy number to look at. I don't want 36. Who wants 36 when you can have 35? So now that top piece over there is going to actually go upwards as it pulls it down. Beautiful. Little splash. What? How did I fail? It only went in the water for a second. Now he's out of the water and he should be able to drive just fine. That is ridiculous. Look, he's driving right now. He even got to the flag. How are you going to fail me? Oh, that's wrong. Okay, well, not like it's hard to fix. We just reduce the contract here to like 30%, maybe just a tiny bit less, and it'll be fine. But I am still angry that that counts as a fail. That should be bonus points. You dunked it into the water and brought it back up? Give me the bonus points for that one. It still went in the water a little bit, but it did make a splashing sound effect, so I guess that's totally fine. If you ask me though, the previous bridge was way cooler. So now we can go ahead and go on to the next level. This one is 1-12, Rock Rest. And it says, perhaps we can use that rock to our advantage. And I will say this now. I absolutely hate levels like this because a lot of the time, the better strategy is to not use the grid. And I like the grid because it makes it nice and easy to make symmetrical and very easy to duplicate bridges. But if I'm doing something down here with these rocks, for example, and maybe I want a piece of wood that goes like right in this corner, well, you can't really put it right in the corner when the grid is on. It's just not gonna go there. So you have to turn the grid off and then you kind of yank it there, which sure, I might get it to work or it might not work. It might need to be here or here. You know, these micro adjustments, which I do not like to have to deal with because it's just tedious to do. And then also for you guys, if you wanted to copy a bridge, for example, well, you know, good luck trying to copy this and not this or this or this or this. You know, all this little itty bitty differences can be important on a map like this. Now, I will try to use the grid as much as possible, but really, in the end with this map, I just want to get through it. I don't really want to make anything fancy for it or anything cool. I just want to get this one done with so we can go to the next one, which hopefully doesn't require me to do this. That's the goal here, is basically survive this one so we can get to one where I could do more fun stuff. Plus, we don't even have hydraulics or anything. Give me my hydraulics so I could do dumb things. This looks great, but it fell apart in 0.2 seconds. The limo couldn't even get onto the bridge. It fell apart so fast. So obviously, we need some more supports in this central section because that's not a real support. That was just a piece there that was used for demonstration that I kind of forgot to remove. So let's go ahead and make a little section over here that'll give us a nice, strong, solid piece that'll hopefully hold up this section of the bridge. See, now ideally you want this making contact with the rock down here, but there's no way for it to actually make contact with the bridge with the grid on, so we have to turn the grid off, and yeah, now to make contact, but that didn't really seem to work at all. Hopefully it just needs more support over here. Yes, that's obviously the solution, is to go more over budget. I don't care, I just want to get this level over with. So is this going to be a strong enough of a bridge where all I need to do is just make it a little bit weaker? It looks like the answer to that question is yes, but just barely. We were at like 96% for a second. So we really don't have too much room to work with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this whole lower section all the support section, and then we can remove the top, which will save us some money. So it's all leaning on the rock, so all of that is gone. We are now under budget, and as long as this works, I'm happy, because like I said, I just want to get through this level. I saw it go all the way up to 97%. Very, very sketchy, but it has made it across. Now, just to show you how important it is that these positions matter, I'm going to just adjust them all the tiniest little amount, and we're going to see, does that make a difference? Because let's say you're trying to duplicate the bridge I just made. Maybe this is where they'd end up being placed for you. It looks like in this situation, it's still going to make it across. But I saw those 90s, and I was really thinking there was a good chance it could break. It looked like it went 1% higher. If it went 2% higher or 3% higher, it would have actually broke, though. So next up, we got 1-13, which is Redraw, which says another drawbridge. No cheating now. And you have to know, by telling me not to cheat, I'm going to do everything I can possibly do to find a way to cheat. So the basic idea is we have a boat, then we have an ambulance that needs to collect this star, and we can't just go right over the boat because it'll miss the star. Fair enough. We will have a nice straight road to let the ambulance easily collect the star. Now, they said they want a drawbridge. Now, a real traditional drawbridge is like what you would see on a castle, where you'd have one big plank, and then you would have something that pulls it all the way up to the other side like so. Then you also have lifting bridges, which are sometimes called drawbridges, but they're not technically a drawbridge to the really definition of the word. For a bridge like that, you would have it where it separates in the center section, and then both of these sides lift up towards the area they're going to. Now, since both of those can be called drawbridges, I don't want to build either of them. I want to build something that does something different. So instead, we're going to make a vertical lift bridge. And the way this kind of bridge works is the whole center section disconnects from the rest of the bridge and lifts up. So we would have something like this, where these two pieces separate, and then the center section would need to be a little bit sturdy to hold up on its own, so we reinforce it like so. And the idea is, it separates off, the boat will come through, then it'll reconnect somehow, obviously not going to work this time, and then the ambulance would go through, and it would be a success, and it's not a drawbridge in any way. So for this to work, we need a section in the middle that goes really, really high up in the air to give us the clearance we need to get that boat to go under it. So something like that should be good, because we basically need to double the length that we need to clear. So we need this much plus another amount of about that much. So that looks decent to me. Then we're going to reinforce this so it's a nice sturdy piece, because not only does it need to hold up the left and right sides of the bridge, it also needs to hold up the middle section as well. So something like that looks pretty nice and strong, doesn't it? That didn't look right. Something's not right here. You see, this is a problem. These pieces are supposed to stay connected, actually. It's just the center section that lifts away. So yeah, basically like that. Then we just need to add the hydraulics that'll do the heavy lifting. And I mean that literally. It's going to do some heavy lifting on that center section. Beautiful. That is high enough for the... Oh, no! Well, it almost worked. We got $1,000 left, so let's just go ahead and add a real quick piece that'll reinforce the bridge just a little bit. Now it won't wobble around. Yeah, it's only on the left side. We don't have enough money to make it symmetrical. This is all the money we got, pretty much. This better work. So that's the exact mechanism I was looking for, though. It lifts it up, and then it puts it back down beautifully. The only question is it strong enough for the ambulance? And I just thought I heard something break. I heard another piece break, but it actually made it across. What broke? Oh, this piece down here broke and it still worked. Interesting. If there's no piece there, does it still work too? I know it's going to work to this part still, right? Yeah, no problem there, right? Blah, 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 blah. And then here's the question. Is it going to actually work with the ambulance? Yeah, it does. Oh, it's all wobbly though. Does that mean this section's not actually needed at all? No, it's needed a little bit. Okay, so it is doing something. I guess it's just kind of touching up on the wall a little bit, and that's just giving it a little bit of extra grip to hold it together. That's really, really sketchy doing it like that though, that's for sure. Although the other one wasn't better because it just immediately broke anyways, so there's really no point in adding that piece. But the bridge itself did not fully break. I need my bridge to fully break. How are we gonna do that? Well, what if we weaken this up a little bit? Yeah, like that. Look at it. Oh, this is awful. Okay, it's probably gonna break prematurely with this kind of setup, but we have to see what happens. Oh, this is bad. You know on the last level or whatever I was saying, oh, I hate when you have to lean stuff up on the rocks, and then here I am doing it voluntarily. Ugh. Oh no, it didn't even reconnect. There is no chance on that one. Oh, that was so hideous. We gotta find a different way to do this. So how about we bring it back like that, and then we're gonna try to save a little bit of money by replacing the reinforced road with the regular road. Now this, I am very concerned about. I have a feeling that the whole bridge is just gonna collapse once the ambulance starts to drive on it, but the only way to know for certain is to test it. So far, just like the reinforced road. Now here's where the questions come. Actually working perfectly fine still, and now we have a bunch of money to do dumb things. So we're gonna make a little ramp at the end, because you know me, I love putting ramps at the end of things. That's the easiest way to guarantee that your bridge breaks after it's all done. So let's see if this works. And for the boat, I really don't care. Make it go really fast so the boat goes through really fast, and then when the boat goes really fast through, then we could slow it down for the ambulance. And how well does the ambulance do? It does almost make it. It almost does. Just a small little change. We're gonna add an extra piece of road over here that's just gonna act as the landing pad. So everything else is gonna break, but the landing pad will catch the ambulance, and then it'll get to the finish perfectly. At least in theory. Let's see if that theory is good. Going through the center section, a little wobbly, that's fine. Oh, that was perfect. And that's gonna do it for this video. Unfortunately, we did not get through all the levels like I was planning, but we still got through a decent number, and I'm happy with that. So until next time, this is WhyBeAre, and remember, if you like or dislike this video, I will know. I can tell by how the bridges collapse. So do the right thing, and I'll see you next time.